following announcement has been paid for by the new Howl Order.
Whether the team is giving us the highest of highs or the bluest of blues, it's all here. Man, Nightly News. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So, I've talked about the magnitude of this game, week 2, needing to win. The Broncos need to win. We want to win. There needs to be a level of desperation on our end. We know they're going to be desperate. We know they don't want to start 0-2 on the season. We know they don't want to start 0-2 at home to kick off the season. There will be a level of desperation. Can we match that energy? We'll see. Denver has been a house of horrors for Washington. Washington has not won in Denver since 2001. So I ask you this question because a lot of you, when the season first started, before we played Arizona, when you thought we were going to blow the Arizona Cardinals out, said that we're not going to get any respect from beating Arizona or Denver. It won't come until week 3 versus Buffalo. I beg to differ. Yep, Denver's 0-1. Yep, Denver may not be perceived to be a good team. This is year 1 of Sean Payton. A lot of people think that Russell Wilson's cooked. I disagree. We'll see. But forget about what other people think. I care about what you think. And so I'm asking you right now, what would a 2-0 start mean for you in terms of your confidence level in this team this season? Does it change at all? Does the needle stay exactly right down the middle? Does this not move the needle at all, a win over Denver on the road to get to 2-0 for the first time since 2011? Does that needle slightly move in the direction of being more positive? Does that needle slightly move in the direction of, we won, unimpressed, Denver's not good, I don't think this team's going to be any good. I don't know how a victory could move the needle the opposite way, but some of these fans, I don't know, they come up with things in their head, they make things up, but I'm asking you, what a win in Denver on Sunday would mean for you in terms of your confidence level in this team's ability to get it done this season. Does this game move the needle for you at all? And maybe your response to this is, I got to see what it looks like. If it looked like it did last week and it's still a win, no, it's not moving the needle for me. Maybe you go into Denver and you put up 33 points and Sam looks extraordinary. The offense is humming. The defense is dominant. Yeah, it moves the needle. I don't know. I need you to verbalize to me what a win on Sunday in Denver would do for you in terms of confidence level in this team. That's what I want to hear from you. I know how I feel. I don't care about what I think. I care about what you think. So leave that down in the comment section, along with, obviously, score and more. As we get to the end of this video, I'm going to be asking you for your prediction for this game as well. But what would a win mean in week 2? Would it mean that this season could be different? I don't know. Well, only one way to find out. Somewhere in the 7:30 to 35 range on Sunday evening, we'll have our answer. Hopefully, it's a good one. Let's get to in other news. So, Ron probably spoke today. That's my guess. They're on the road, so he might not have spoke, but I think you might have gotten a quick little 7-8 minute Ron presser. Anyway, I'm more concerned about the injury report for the upcoming game. So let's get to that. So you look at the 5 guys on the injury report for Washington. Hopefully, no one else is added to this list in my absence. However, assuming that it looks the exact same, Quan Martin not playing. He's out with the concussion. Curtis Samuel will be listed as questionable. He's playing. Chase Young, questionable. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Curtis Samuel isn't even on the injury report. It's going to be just a dash there at the end because he's playing. Chase Young's going to be listed as questionable. He's not playing. Okay? He's not playing this week. Sam Cosmi Dash, because he's not on the injury report, he's playing. And Terry McLaurin, Dash, he's not on the injury report, he's playing as well. So the only two players not playing this week on this list are Quan Martin and Chase Young. So, Denver side of things. Greg Dulcich out with the hamstring injury. He's not playing in this game. Frank Clark listed as questionable. He's going to play in this game. Jerry Jeudy listed as questionable. He's going to play in this game. DJ Jones, not on the injury report. He's playing. Riley Moss, not on the injury report. He's going to play as well. So, that's what I foresee happening with the injuries. Let's get to the game plan. This is a game that I envision is going to be a one-score game. I really don't see either team gaining the upper hand in a manner that lends itself to a blowout or a two-score victory either way, unless somebody wins by like 10 or 11 points and they get a late touchdown to extend the lead out, and that's how the game. But this is going to be a relatively close ball game is what I'm trying to convey to you, right? But this is not going to be a blowout on either side unless one of these two teams absolutely falls apart at the seam. And the likelihood, if that were to transpire, would probably be us on the road for the first time this season with Sam Howell as our starting quarterback. But I don't foresee that happening either. That said, let's talk about how Washington can go on the road for the first time this year and come back home 2-0. All right, so let's start with keys to victory on the offensive side of the football, okay? The first thing I think Washington needs to do in this game offensively is establish balance and somehow create offensive line stability. Because honestly, nothing else that we want to accomplish in this game will be accomplished if the offensive line cannot be more stable than they were a week ago. So I think that's one of the first things that we have to focus on. And I also would like to see a little bit more balance. You're going on the road, hostile environment. We've already heard players talking about having to go with a silent count, okay? Hopefully you're able to limit the mistakes, the penalties, and things of that nature because you're going silent. Let's not have false start penalties. Let's get in and out of the huddle. Let's not have delay of games. Let's not waste timeouts frivolously, right? However, let's establish some balance. Let's not put it all on the shoulders of Sam Howell in week number 2. Let's not have him trending towards 40 pass attempts as we end the third quarter. Let's have balance in this game plan. Let's establish the run game. Let's be prolific in that regard, taking pressure off of Sam and maybe creating some big play opportunities down the field. Speaking of which, key number 2 to victory offensively, explosives and getting the wide receivers going. And honestly, the explosives aren't a necessary evil here, right? It's not something that has to happen, but I want that to be a byproduct of getting the receivers going. You start hitting these guys on underneath routes, whether it's a slant or it's an over route or something like that. They get out in space, they make a guy miss, and it turns into an explosive play. But I would love to see them have a guy down the field and get one-on-one in coverage, and Sam gives them an opportunity and they win, right? But the overarching theme here is, in week 1, we didn't get our playmakers involved nearly enough. And the strength of the offense, just like the strength of the defense is the D-line, the strength of the offense is the wide receiver position. And in order to maximize the offense, you need to make sure that the star position, the best position on the offense, is featured. So again, while I want to remain balanced, I also want to make sure that when we look at the end of this game and we look at the statistics, the wide receivers lead the charge in terms of targets. The wide receivers lead the charge in terms of receptions and yards. They need to be the guys that lead the way offensively because they are the most dynamic parts of the offense. Okay? So, more targets for Terry. 4 targets last week is embarrassing for Terry McLaurin. That's not nearly enough. Jahan Dotson needs to continue to be a factor. He had 5 catches last week. I look forward to having another 5 to 6 catches this week. Okay? Curtis Samuel had 5 catches last week. Excellent. Do it again. All right? And I want to see him touch it in the run game. It doesn't have to necessarily be a pass to these receivers. These receivers are dynamic. Get them the ball in space. So it could be Jahan Dotson on a jet sweep. It could be, Curtis Samuel on a shovel pass. He comes in motion, they snap the ball, he goes up towards the line of scrimmage and they shovel it to him. I don't care how it is. Just figure out a way to get your playmakers the football in space. And I think that'll lead to some explosives. The receivers need to get going. They're the best part of the offense. The most dynamic part of the offense. Show it. Key number 3. Handle the environment. Handle the environment. It's first time on the road. We know it's going to be a hostile environment. Mile High it's a beast onto itself, right? Because of the Mile High element and all of the things that, happen there with the elevation level. Handle the environment. It's going to be loud. I don't expect a ton of Washington fans in the stands in Denver. I've already told you they're going to have a ceremony, honoring the 25th anniversary of the second Super Bowl on those back-to-back wins in 97 and 98. The crowd is going to be raucous. Handle the environment. Don't go there and fall the hell apart with mistakes and turnovers and penalties and false starts because it's loud, and delay of games because you can't hear the checks at the line of scrimmage, or breakdowns of protection because you didn't hear the call. Let's handle ourselves like professionals on the road. Handle the environment. We haven't won in Denver in 22 years. Again, a lot of streaks on the line this year. It's time to start breaking some of these things. Key number 4 on offense. You know what it is. I didn't want to make it first. All right. But I'm definitely saving it for last. Protect the Duke, man. I mean, that goes without saying, but we got to say it because it was so bad last week that it's a problem. Protect the Duke. It's a key every week. It'll always be a key, but especially coming off the week we just had, protect the Duke. All right? Now I get to the keys on defense. What will it take for Washington to be victorious on Sunday against the Denver Broncos? No explosives is key number 1. So I talked about this on yesterday's episode, how the Broncos have put an emphasis on getting explosive plays. In this game against Washington in week 2, they didn't have any last week against the Raiders, and they felt like that was a huge part of the reason that they lost that football game. And they're looking to rectify that in week number 2. And they're getting Jerry Jeudy back, so that's going to help in that department. Don't let that be a thing. No explosive last week, none again this week. Shut them out in that department. Make them earn every single thing that they get. And if you do that, I think they'll make enough mistakes along the way and allowing us to be victorious. No explosives. Key number 2, continue to get off the field on third downs. The Broncos were 5 of 11 on third down last week against Vegas. That's damn near 50%. We kept the Cardinals to 4 of 14. It was the Cardinals. Show me again with a real NFL quarterback here this time around. Find a way to keep them out of third and manageable. That's where the Broncos want to live. They want to run it on first down, or they want to check it down or swing it to the back out of the backfield, or get it to Cortland Sutton on a 5-yard stop and get 5 or 4 on first down and set up 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5. Then they want to run the football and get 3, and now it's 3rd and 2 or it's 3rd and 3. That's what they want to do. That's how they convert. Keep them out of third and manageables. Win on first and second down. Find a way off the field on third downs. Don't allow them to control this game via the clock and time of possession like they did last week. They want to shorten the game. We want to play a longer game because we think we're the more talented football team. Prove it. Get them off the field. Get the ball back to your offense. Key number 3 on the defensive side of the football. Slow the run game and contain Russ. So I've talked about Sean Payton being a guy that loves to run the football. A lot of people think Sean Payton and think about the pass game and then think about Drew Brees. Sean Payton runs the football, okay? Make no mistake about it. And if we don't stop the run early in this game, you will see the run early and often. So we need to come out and establish that the run game won't be a catalyst to power their offensive attack in week number 2. And also, while you're at it, contain Russell Wilson. I've told you he's lost weight. He's in tremendous shape. He's moving around again. He looks spry. He's breaking the pocket. They're using bootlegs and things to change the location of Russell Wilson. Keep him in the pocket. Don't let those bootlegs get out and go for 13 yards. You know what they want to do. You know what they're trying to accomplish. Stay at home, do your job. Don't allow them to get easy completions and run after the catch. Don't allow Russ to extend plays and make things happen. He had a beautiful extension of a play last week where he threw a touchdown pass in the back of the end zone. Don't allow those things to transpire in this game. Russ wants to get out of the pocket. He wants to use his legs. He wants to go off schedule. He wants to break contain. He wants to get out of the pocket. We got to corral him. Rush is one. Keep him in the pocket. All the while limiting the run game and making Russell Wilson have to beat us from the pocket, not outside of it. Key number 4 on the defensive side of the football: force field goals in the red zone. Last week versus the Raiders, the Broncos were 2 of 3 in the red zone. Had they been 3 of 3, they would have won the game. But they were 2 of 3, and they missed an extra point. And that's what ultimately lost them the game, losing 17-16. We've got to do a better job because I thought the Cardinals had opportunities in the red zone last week, specifically their first trip when Zach Ertz dropped what I thought was a decent enough pass. Should have caught it. Should have been a touchdown. We have to do a better job in the red zone. Last week, we were flawless. We kept the Arizona Cardinals out of the end zone. They were 0 in the red zone, but I think some of that was their own doing. Whatever the case may be, they didn't score on offense. I'd like to continue that streak if at all possible. I don't know if that's possible or not, but if the Broncos get in the red zone 4 times in this game, that's too many, first and foremost, but if they do, you can't allow more than 2 touchdowns. You can't allow more than 2 touchdowns. If the Broncos get in the red zone 3 times, they need to be 1 of 3. You have to force them to kick field goals, especially because we still don't know where our offense is in the grand scheme of things. We don't know if we're capable of outscoring anyone quite yet. If this thing were to turn into a shootout, we don't know if we're equipped yet to go toe-to-toe with anybody, let alone a Broncos team that isn't supposed to be able to score explosively and dynamically. They haven't been an explosive team. They weren't in week 1. They weren't last year. I know it's a different year. It's a different coach. It's a different scheme. It's a different Russell Wilson. I'm fully aware. But they didn't do it last week. Now's not the time for them to do it this week. Limit them to field goals in the red zone. And just period in the game. Whether they make it into the red zone or not. They get in the field goal range? Fine. Field goal it is. Do not give up touchdowns. Don't make it harder on yourself than it already is going to be being on the road. And so with that, let's get to my final outcome. So I struggled with this one. I really did. I'm not going to lie to you. You guys know when we were doing the Super Friends stream and I gave my prediction for the season, I had this as a loss because we don't play well in Denver. And as I said at the top of the show, we haven't won in Denver since 2001. And the home team has won each of the last 5 contests in this series. We have to find a way to break that. And I told you, this is a new year. We're turning over a new leaf, and this is the year where streaks are meant to be broken for the Washington Commanders organization. We haven't been 2-0 since 2011. Time to break that streak. We haven't won in Denver since 2001. Time to break that streak. So while I struggled with this, if I want different, if I want new, if I want change, I got to change. Because I feel like this is a loss. In my heart, I'm saying, nah, we're going to win. My head is like, bro, you know better. You know better. You know better. And usually I don't go with my head, or my heart rather. I go with my head. All right. Normally I don't fool around with my heart. Hearts get you in trouble. Okay. Hearts get you in trouble because it's emotional. Your head, rational. I'm a rational thinker. So I want to pick Denver here. But if I want different, if I expect different, which I do, if I continue to say, hey guys, this feels different, then it needs to be different. And maybe it isn't different. Maybe we go to Mile High and do the thing that I think we're going to do, which is find a way to, bumble and fumble and stumble and come back home 1-1. But this team feels different. I think this defense, more importantly, is ready to take that next step. And it's games like this one that help define who they are as a defense. You want to be considered a top unit? Lackluster offenses don't get their shit off against you if you're an elite unit. You shut Arizona down and you turned that faucet completely off like you were supposed to. I'm looking at Denver and they look mighty delicious. And they look like a team that you're supposed to devour just like Arizona a week ago. Better personnel, damn good quarterback, much better head coach, don't care. They've struggled to score, keep it that way. Sam Howell in the offense, still a work in progress, looking for improvement, looking for them to be a little bit sharper than they were a week ago. And just like a week ago, I'm looking for them to do enough for us to win and collectively drag our asses across the finish line. 23-17, first to 20 wins. Ding, ding, ding. We get it done. Come back home 2-0. What says you? Leave it down in the comment section. Scoring more. Also asked you a question at the top of the show. A win in Denver on Sunday, does it change the way you feel about this team moving forward? Leave it down in the comment section. Can't wait to read your responses. Give me some reading material on my vacation while I'm at the bar waiting for my drink. I can be looking at the comment section. Give me something. All right? I appreciate y'all. You know what it is. You know what time it is. Let's go on the road, take care of business, and most importantly, let's roll these boys.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap, and to Riggins. Good hold. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone.